catch me howling at the moon.
Silver Dollar City is a theme park located in the Ozark Mountains just outside of Branson, Missouri. While the park is known for its charm and extensive theming, they also boast a pretty impressive coaster collection. They currently only have 7 roller coasters, but I find their collection to be one of the most well-rounded in the Midwest. Today we'll be breaking down their collection of coasters and ranking the top 7 coasters at Silver Dollar City. Number 7. Grand Exposition Coaster. This is the park's Zamperla family coaster, located in the kiddie area of the park. While the ride boasts a layout of less than 300 feet, it does draw a big crowd with the youngsters. During my visit to Silver Dollar City in June 2019, I embarrassingly waited over 20 minutes for this kiddie credit, probably my longest line of the day. There's nothing quite like getting stares of shame and confusion from mothers seeing you wait 20 minutes to ride a children's ride. Overall, it does its job as a gateway coaster for young enthusiasts. Number 6. Fire in the Hole. This indoor sit-down roller coaster is a classic at the park, operating since 1972. Themed to a small rural town fighting a blazing fire threatening to burn down their city, this ride embodies the charm that Silver Dollar City has. I'm a big fan of these classic coaster dark ride hybrid rides, as you just don't see many rides like this being made these days. The ride also has a great surprise ending, so if you haven't been to Silver Dollar City yet, don't let anyone spoil that for you. Don't let the number 6 ranking fool you. I love this ride and I think it's a classic. It really just speaks to how well-rounded this park's collection is as a whole. Number 5. Thunderation. I'll start by saying this. Thunderation is not your father's Aero Mine Train. This thing is insane. It starts by meandering around a few bank turns, which feel pretty harmless. Then you begin to realize that you're picking up speed at a rapid rate. The best part of the ride comes before you even hit the first lift hill. You hit a double helix at a top speed of 48 miles per hour, into a tunnel, and finishing it all off with a great pop of airtime at the end of it. The first time I rode Thunderation, I was so surprised and taken aback by this moment of the ride that I went from having my hands in my lap to grasping onto the handles of the train to brace myself. You hit the lift, mostly to get you back uphill, do a couple more turns, and the ride's over. To this day, Thunderation is at the top of the 10 Aero Mine Trains I've been on so far. It's truly a great terrain coaster, and one you definitely don't want to look over if you're going to Silver Dollar City. Number 4. WILDFIRE. This B&M sit-down coaster boasts 5 inversions and has been operating at the park since 2001. WILDFIRE has all the bearings of a classic B&M. A great name, a rustic feel, and an incredible setting. But if I'm being honest, this ride doesn't compare to its brother B&Ms like Kumba or Hulk. Nevertheless, this is a solid sit-down coaster. The elements are well placed, it doesn't bang you up, and it's overall a very enjoyable ride. What takes this coaster from being just a fun ride to truly an epic experience is the scenery around it. The coaster sits high atop the Ozark Mountains and overlooks the iconic Table Rock Lake. The view you get at the top of the lift hill is one of the best I've ever experienced on a coaster, and its pre-drop lets you enjoy it for a brief second before plummeting down the first drop. While WILDFIRE does a lot of ordinary things that most B&Ms do, its setting is what makes it truly a special experience. Number 3. Powder Keg, a blast in the wilderness. Powder Keg is a truly bizarre coaster that you can't find anywhere else in the world. Originally opening as a Premier Rides water coaster, the ride got an extensive overhaul by S&S in 2003, making it the compressed air launch coaster it is today. These modifications are what makes the coaster so unique. It has an elevator lift that takes you up to the launch platform, as well as having both a lift hill and a launch, which is pretty rare to see. The uniqueness of the ride is just part of what makes Powder Keg an awesome coaster. The launch is forceful, the ride is smooth as can be, and it gives some surprising floater airtime on both of its drops. I found myself laughing endlessly on this coaster. It's just a very enjoyable ride that's extremely re-rideable, which really is a common theme you'll find at Silver Dollar City. At this point in the video, you can probably guess what the top 2 coasters are going to be. But let me tell you, it was a lot harder for me to rank these 2 coasters than I think it would be for most people. It was the case of one of the best, most elite coasters I've ever been on, versus one of my all-time favorites, and perhaps the most fun I've ever had on a coaster. But rankings are rankings, and at number 2, we have Time Traveler. Time Traveler truly is one of my favorite coasters I've ever been on. The Mach Ride's extreme spinning coaster isn't considered elite in terms of intensity, speed, or sustained airtime, but the sheer re-rideability of Time Traveler makes it an amazing roller coaster. Time Traveler does have some fantastic elements to it. It starts off with a 90-degree vertical drop, which in the back car gives one of the best ejector moments I've experienced to this date. From there, the ride goes through 2 launches and 3 inversions, including a vertical loop, a 0G roll, and a dive loop. All the while, you're spinning uncontrollably throughout its course. You'll never have the same ride on Time Traveler. I rode it 11 times on my trip to Silver Dollar City, and every single one was just as unique as the next. This is a coaster that truly never gets old, and truly keeps you guessing every ride. Sometimes you'll be going through the vertical loop sideways. Other times you'll be going through the 0G roll backwards. But I think the single craziest combination you can get on Time Traveler is sitting in the back car and going down the 90-degree vertical drop backwards. That right there is one of the single nuttiest experiences I've ever had on a roller coaster. The theme of time travel is extremely fitting for this ride, as you'll hit the final brake run completely disoriented. And that's what I love about coasters, that feeling of, what just happened when you hit the final brake run? Time Traveler embodies that feeling as well as any coaster I've ever been on, which is why it's my number 2 at Silver Dollar City, and why it holds a firm spot in my top 15 of over 220 coasters I've been on at the time of this video. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 coaster at Silver Dollar City is Outlaw Run. Outlaw Run was the first ground-up wooden coaster constructed by the pioneers at Rocky Mountain Construction, and to this day it holds a reputation of being one of the better RMCs out there, as well as being one of the best wooden coasters in the world. This ride has an incredible feeling of speed to it. You do go 68 miles per hour, which is pretty fast to begin with, but the fact that you're flying through the woods and through the trees intensifies that feeling. On top of that, the ride has great airtime and 3 incredible inversions. The best 2 moments of the ride are the 81-degree first drop, which is a great ejector moment in the back seat, and the double heartline roll, which gives some insane hang time. The thing I love most about Outlaw Run is how it incorporates the technology and insane elements that RMC has been known for, while still also maintaining a classic wooden coaster feel. It's noticeably not as smooth as its wooden counterpart, Goliath at Six Flags Great America, but in some ways, that works to its advantage. That true wooden coaster feeling makes it feel like a runaway train, as it tears through its track, giving an out-of-control feeling. There are also some disadvantages to this though. There are certain spots on the course, notably the bottom of the first drop, where the ride can get pretty rough and cause some head jarring. This is especially the case in the back row. When I was marathoning this ride, I had to move a few rows to the front because the roughness I experienced in the back seat was giving me a headache. That's not a knock on the ride though, as I don't particularly mind when wooden coasters are rough. I think it more speaks to the sheer intensity and speed of Outlaw Run. All in all, Outlaw Run is an insane, out-of-control roller coaster, and night rides through the woods in the pitch black only make it better. It's the best coaster at Silver Dollar City, and at the time of this video, one of my top 3 favorite wooden coasters, right up there with El Toro and Voyage. There you have it, the coasters of Silver Dollar City ranked. Let's take one last look at our final power rankings. If you made it this far, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel, as I've got more coaster and theme park content coming at you soon. Agree with my rankings? Want to suggest what park I rank next? Leave a comment down below. And while you're here on the channel, be sure to check out these other videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.